Hey, private practice dentist, do you and your team frequently run behind schedule, leave the treatment room during procedures, or have difficulty managing your supplies and instruments? Then this episode's for you. We will be interviewing a clinical efficiency consultant that has been in the dental industry for over 30 years. We'll be talking about her company's innovative system called the Color Method that will help you and your team work together more efficiently and deliver a better patient experience. Stay tuned to learn how she can help you be more productive and profitable.
Welcome to Dental Business Excellence, the podcast dedicated to inspiring dentists to achieve optimal growth and success in their practices. Here, top dental experts will share their insights to bring the latest technology, tools, marketing techniques, practice management strategies, and business solutions that will help increase your bottom line. Here are your hosts, owner of AMP Dental SEO, Adrian Baines, and CEO of White & Associates Practice Consulting, Christian White.
Welcome to Dental Business Excellence. I'm Adrian Baines, along with my co-host, Christian White. Thanks for joining us. We're honored to be joined by an awesome guest today. She's a clinical efficiency consultant that's been in the dental industry for over 30 years. Let's welcome Kay Hickey from Zirc Dental Products to the show.
Hi.
All right.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hi, Kay. Yeah,
Good morning.
we're excited to have you.
Thank you.
Christian,
Hey,
I'm going to hand it off to you, buddy. You can take it away from here.
Right. Thanks, man. Kay, it's great to have you on the show today. Thank you for taking time out of your productive schedule to be with us. You have got a lot of great information to share for our audience, and you're going to make a really big impact today, especially on the private dentist. So we are excited. Woo-hoo.
I am too.
Right. So, Kay, why don't we start off by having you maybe just give us a quick short bio and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, like Adrian said, I've been in the dental industry for over 30 years. About 26 of that has been as an assistant. And then since then, I'm a clinical efficiency consultant here at Zirc. I love it because it allows me to help my people, the dental industry itself. So I take a lot of gratification in being able to offer suggestions to help dental teams, literally get more organized, more efficient, and really it reduces the amount of stress. And so, yeah, that's basically, that's me.
So, Kay, everybody that Adrian and I interview always has a fun, interesting story about how they got into the dental world. So why don't you comment on that? Because I know you've got a really good story.
I got into the dental world completely by accident. I was actually set up to go to college, and in the 11th hour, I decided I wasn't quite ready. And to my mom and dad's disappointment, I stayed full-time as my job as a cook at a restaurant. And I told them, I said, I promise I'll take this year and look for a good job with good benefits that has room for growth. And so I did. I took that full year and wasn't finding a whole lot of anything. And so I was coming back from a job interview that I didn't really see myself working in a position that I was interviewing for. And I was driving by the technical college in St. Cloud. And on a whim, I just stopped in and I went into the guidance counselors and I said, what's the first thing you got open? And it was either dental assistant or welding. So I said, all right, sign me up for dental assisting. And I got lucky. It ended up being a really good career choice for me.
Tell us maybe a little bit about Zirc, because there's, I think out in the marketplace, a lot of people, still haven't gotten the word out about Zirc and some of the things that you do. Why don't you just talk about that real quick?
Yeah, Zirc is really, I would say it's a real niche company.
Mm-hmm.
We have an innovative line of several different innovative lines of products, and our real focus is creating products that are going to help dental teams become, safe, with compliance and safety and, less stress, more efficient, better organized, and more productive. So that is our goal with pretty much the entire line of products that we have. We are very well known for our isolation devices. We have the most isolation devices and evacuation devices on the market, as well as our color code products, which is what we're going to probably be talking about the most today. Our organizational products for instruments and dental materials. And we're very well known for our crystal HD mirrors. It's an incredibly bright, crisp, clear mirror. When we go to conferences and exhibitions, people will come up asking for the magnified mirror. And it's not magnified, but it does give you the illusion just because of the brightness and clarity. So Zirc has been around for over 50 years, family owned, and everything that we do make is made right here in our building here in Buffalo, Minnesota. So we take a lot of pride that we're doing everything here in the USA. So it's good quality resin products.
And I will let everybody know that I have toured your facility, and it was a great time. And I get to see everything live and how you do everything. And it was very, very interesting. So I had a great time.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. It's amazing to me. I mean, we are literally a small company with maybe about 70 plus employees, but we get so much product out worldwide. And that astonishes me still today that we can produce that much, get it shipped out all around the world with just, a staff of about 70 people, including our engineering, our marketing, our sales, customer service, the production team, assembly. It's amazing. Fine-tuned machine we are here.
So if you're driving through Buffalo, Minnesota, and you need something to do, stop in and see Kay. And get a tour of the facility. It's very entertaining. I highly recommend.
Please. Yeah, come on in. I've got chocolate.
Oh, then we're all there. I'm there.
All right, cool.
Well, tell me, Kay, what is, and I see that your job title is Product Efficiency Consultant. What is that exactly?
So my title is Product and Efficiency Consultant. A lot of times when I'm working with practices, I'm more of a clinical efficiency consultant, but the product comes in because working in the sales department, I need to be knowledgeable about all of the products that we have. So when I do talk to customers, I'm able to give them all of the details, the benefits and features of all of the products that we do carry. When I'm working with dental teams, I kind of transform more into that clinical efficiency consultant, offering up advice to, solve pain points and hurdles that dental teams may be experiencing.
Okay, right on. And tell us, what is the color method?
Yeah, the color method is awesome. I mean, it's a color code system. And we're not the inventors of color coding by any means. I mean, you look in the other industries like, electrical and stoplights and so forth. But because color coding works, it works really well in dentistry. So we teach our color method by assigning every single procedure that the office does a different color. So for example, endodontics could be green, restorative could be blue, hygiene could be purple, and so forth. And now we're going to utilize our color code products, such as instrument cassettes, procedure trays, procedure tubs. Tubs are used to house the specific materials used for each procedure. So now everything will be stored in central sterilization or in a central area, so anybody at any time has access to get that. So if I know that I'm doing a restorative procedure, I can go in, grab the blue tray that will have my instrument cassette on it, my blue tub with my materials, and I've got everything I need. The beauty of that is it's really saving a lot of time in room setup. And moreover, and I can attest to this myself as an assistant, and for the fact that I talk to dental offices every day, and it's one of the biggest pet peeves around dental professionals, is that thing of having to leave the room halfway through a procedure because something's missing. This is going to eliminate that problem, because using a procedure tub versus using, putting everything in a drawer keeps everything at your fingertips and nothing can get lost. I mean, as an assistant myself, if I spent 10 seconds looking for example, my A1 flowable composite and I couldn't find it, I'm going to run next door. Number one, I'm stopping the procedure to have to do it. That's going to waste, on average, 3 minutes of time every time you have to stop a procedure. Go to the next room, steal hers, and then come in and finish my procedure. But now I've just, made them short with materials in the second room. So the color method is designed to save time, save money, eliminate lost expired materials, and just to help the workflow processes be more efficient. And overall, that's going to really decrease stress amongst the dental team.
Yeah, I can see that. Do you guys on average how much time you can shave off any particular procedure?
Yeah, in fact, we've done several case studies, and one in particular, since you're asking it in that fashion, one study particular estimated on, I shouldn't say estimated, but according to the data they collected, on average, they were saving about 45 minutes a day. Now, if you take that 45 minutes a day and you add an additional procedure, just conservatively speaking, you're looking at about $375 to $400 production for that hour.
Mm-hmm.
In the study that we did, and this was done by a consulting firm, they found at the end of the year, they actually earned an additional $72,000 in added revenue.
Wow.
Just by implementing a simple color code system like the color method.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. I mean, systematizing businesses, right? It doesn't matter what industry you're in. When you systematize, it just makes you that more efficient, productive, successful, and helps you with scaling.
You're exactly right. And we did another type of case study. It was more of a time savings. And they collected data and they found that the instances that they had to leave the room to go find that missing item was reduced by 85%, which is incredible.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
So, and as we're going along here, it's like, it's clear that you're more than just a salesperson. I mean, you're a specialist in this industry. So can you tell us, like, as a specialist, as an expert, how are you bringing value to the private dentist?
I think you hit it on the head, because I do work in the sales department. I do sales, but moreover, I educate. And I'm relatable in the fact that I'm not a salesperson, in the fact I'm a dental assistant who's learned how to be a clinical efficiency consultant and work for a manufacturing plant. So I've walked the walk, talked the talk, as they say. And I actually will come through, and if a dental office thinks they need 20 cassettes and I'm looking at their numbers and the amount of staff they have, I'm not going to just sell them 20 cassettes when I think they can get by with 10. And so I think that's what makes me more credible to them, is that they know that I'm one of them and that they can trust me and what I'm offering them.
Yeah. And as a consultant, you're helping them make a buying decision. You're not necessarily trying to sell them. You sit down, you learn what the situation is, what their challenges are, and put together a plan.
Yes.
And help them customize that plan. And, again, just make the right buying decision. It's not like a sales presentation or a close.
And our focus, Adrian and Christian, like you're saying, it's really, and we talked about this at our last team meeting, it's all about the customer experience. And so we don't just make that sale and say, all right, good, we made, so much money off of Dr. A, B, and C, but we check back a month later after they implement. We'll check back 6 months later. Is there anything we can do? Or do you have any problems? Do you have any concerns? And we check back again in another year, sometimes, depending on what we found at that 6-month chat. So we're here for the long run. And the customers that I've been serving for the last 7 years, they continue to reach out to me to place additional orders or just ask questions and whatnot. We really develop a relationship with our customers, which is so much fun for me.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how do you guys stand out from competition in the marketplace?
Since you ask, we really don't have a lot of competition. There's a lot of companies that make similar products to what we can make, but there's nobody that has the extensive line of products or services that we provide. So yes, we certainly have, competitors that are purchasing similar items. But when we can come at them with this full color method that we can help implement, we have several services that we can offer to customers to really meet their needs specifically and really customize it to them and their practice.
Awesome.
Kay, I would say that, the business that you're in the experience business. You're not necessarily in the product business. And I think you would agree with me on that.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, we make innovative products, good quality products, but it's more about the service and the customer experience, like I said.
The better taste you can leave in, your client, I almost said patient, mouth, the better that things will go.
Yeah.
And you know that just from being in the being a dental assistant, experience is everything.
Yes. And I catch myself calling my customers patients sometimes too. It's just, it's inbred in me.
It is. I think another piece too that it becomes really important in the marketplace and where we're at right now, it's January clinical area where all this chaos is going on and you can make sense of it, I think has a far-reaching effect on the practice in terms of helping people have a better day, help them have more fun, and in turn also help the dental practice, retain staff.
That is such a good point. And we were talking off air a little bit, and we were both, sharing what this short staffed issue looks like in the dental industry. And, 30% of practices, like Christian said earlier when off air, 30% of practices are looking for assistants and dental hygienists. And assistants and dental hygienists know that they're in high demand right now. They know that they might be able to go elsewhere and demand more money. So honestly, as an assistant myself, it's not always about how much money can I make, but how happy I am in the environment. So if we've got a stressed out team, chaos, no good systems in place, it's going to be more tempting to think that the grass might be greener down the street and to job hop. If we've got our team in place and they're a good team, we need to do anything we can to keep that team. And it might mean really looking at our systems that we have in place. How's your team feeling? Start the conversation. How's people feeling? Are you stressed at the end of the day? Are you working late night after night? Not only is that exhausting for the dental assistant or the clinical team, it's also costing the practice money and overtime, paying time and a half. So, we want to be able to have that good work-life balance to really keep these team members on board. And I'll share a little side story on that. Tina, who is another efficiency consultant, she deals with the DSO world. And she went to one of their practices to help them get organized. And now they use our color method model to actually, to actually bring in applicants and show them the systems that they have in place to entice them to want to work there. And they said it works beautifully, because who wouldn't want to come in, look around, and see that there's systems in place that's going to help them take care of them and their patients that whole work day.
Most of what we're talking about, I think, Kay, is you're talking about the soft issues in a dental practice. And the soft issues are those silent pieces that most people don't pay any attention to just because it doesn't have anything to do with tooth dust. But it can really affect a practice as we're going through here and you're talking about this. It's becoming more and more apparent.
Oh, very much so. I mean, it's amazing the amount of waste that we have in dentistry simply because we're losing stuff, not keeping track of it. We're ordering too often. We're wasting time and money doing that. We have too much inventory on hand. I went into an office just a few months back, and I started going through their sterilization area, and I found a big basket full of impression material. It was the kind that come in the cartridges with the mixing tips and so forth. And I started going through it to make some sense out of it. I ended up having to throw away 14 cartridges of impression material.
Ooh.
Now, if anybody out there is listening, does ordering or does the books, you know how much that costs. It's almost $800 in supplies that I threw away in less than 10 minutes of me being in that practice. And this is what we see over and over again. Even as an assistant, Dr. Martinson, the doctor that I worked for in Wayzata, hello, Dr. Martinson. Now he's going to learn that I threw away a lot of materials. But when he would go out of town, I would take the time to go through my drawers. We didn't have the tub system when I was assisting, and to get things reorganized. And sure enough, I'd have very often, say, 4 open flowable composites that got lost in the back of the drawer, and I end up throwing them away. So these are the things that we really want to help eliminate.
I would also say, as I was listening to you just right now, you help control practice overhead, Kay.
Absolutely.
You can take a look at the dental supply piece, and you can really get that in order in terms of what they're ordering and how often they're ordering, just based on the consulting that you can implement.
It's funny you mentioned that because we had another case study that we did, and we checked in with the doctor after everything was implemented about several months later. And he said that his dealer rep actually came in and confronted him on, are you using another dental dealer for some of your supplies? Because his inventory had dropped significantly.
Yes.
And it really wasn't that he was, cheating on his dealer rep. It was that he had better systems in place, and they weren't having to utilize or have to order as much inventory as they had been previously.
And you and I both know, Kay, that the price of dental supplies is going down right now.
Yeah, like everything else.
Yeah, just like everything else. Thought I would add that in. Okay.
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay, let's take a right turn for a second. A new subject. Kay, tell us about your new patient experience. I find this very fascinating for you. I'm a new dentist. Adrian and I are new dentists, and we're bringing you on board. Take us through that new patient process.
Well, the first thing that we do, it usually starts with a phone call, and we go through and I first learn about the practice. What are your pain points? What are your frustrations? What are you looking to do? And I also like to say, what's working well for you? We want to not be all negative. There's got to be some things that are working well, whether it's the team itself. Maybe they are already using cassettes, which is helping, with their inventory or their instrument organization. So we want to learn those good things and then apply, not to get rid of what's working well, but to apply new strategies and new solutions to help them with the frustrations that they might be feeling on top of it. So that's where we get started, is just with a really good, deep assessment phone call. And then from there, we can send them out a box of our products for them to sample. And this would include all of our different instrument holders and cassettes, trays, our tubs with tub accessories. We've got color code burr holders, endodontic organizers. We send them all of that so they can get a hands-on experience and really see for themselves, how is this going to fit into my practice? Is this something that is going to be sustainable for me? And then along with that, they work with one of the efficiency consultants here at Zirc, and we can customize a proposed plan for them. We work together to tweak it to make sure it's exactly what's going to work for them. And in some cases, we actually can go out to the practice and help them implement it. Mm-hmm. So it's a level of services based on the needs of the practice and what their desires are and how much handholding and help do they need or do they want.
So, Kay, this is going to be kind of funny, Kay. So in a way, you are a dentist because you're coming to the patient with a treatment plan, and you can have this much health. You can be as healthy as you want to be, and we're going to help you make the right decision for you.
Call me Dr. K.
I like that. I'm going to do that from now on. Dr. K, I like that.
My little patients back in the day used to call me Dr. K, which just cracked me up because I'm certainly far from a doctor.
But that just goes to prove how great you were as a dental assistant, Kay. You made a huge impact.
Oh, stop it, Christian.
That's true. I'm sorry. Okay, so now let me ask this question. So you come in, you do the assessment, you figure out what the needs of the practice are. Help me understand. So as a dentist, what are the plans that I can choose from to work with you? There's got to be maybe some different options that maybe some of, you come to the office in one or another one. Maybe we're just talking over the phone. Maybe tell all of our listeners about that.
Yeah. Well, we have 3 different consulting plans as of this time. We're actually considering adding another one that I'll talk about in a second. But the first one is our plan 1, which is called guidance. That's simply a free phone call where we get on a phone and we kind of go over some of those points that I was saying earlier about what's working well, what are your frustrations. And then after that phone call, I type up a little bit of a summary for the dentist or the team members to go through, offering actionable tips that they can do right away. It doesn't necessarily include buying Zirc products. It's just maybe simply organizing your sterilization center differently or getting all of the clutter out of the treatment rooms. We do talk about the color method to see if that sounds like something they would be interested in. So that's plan 1. Plan 2 is called the deeper assessment, which we dig in a little deeper. We work with them very closely. We do that same assessment, except on steroids. We get pictures of all of their instruments, all of their materials, and we can actually build their build their instrument setups and their procedure tubs with the materials right here at Zirc. We've got a whole dental office right here at Zirc full of materials. So I can pretty much reproduce anything that an office might have, at least very closely. And then I send them the instructions on how I did it, what products that I used, and I send a picture for the completed tub so they have as a reference in case something should ever get mixed up. That one is our plan 2, like I said, the deeper assessment, that we actually send them out a box full of the samples, like I think I mentioned earlier, where they get that hands-on feel. So not only am I talking to them and making those suggestions, they can look at those cassettes and say, how are they going to fit in my ultrasonic cleaner? How are the trays and tubs going to fit in my cabinetry? They can actually, physically go put them in there to see how things are going to stack up. And then lastly, we have what we call our ultimate reset. This is all of plan 2 that I just talked about, plus they would get 2 efficiency consultants from Zirc to fly out to their practice. We would teach the team about the benefits and features of the color method. We would train them how the workflow goes, and we would spend the entire day with them working with the team. Think of it as a team building experience, and work side by side implementing the entire system. And it's just the most gratifying thing to be able to do, because at about noon those days, the office is just a mess. It's just trash. There's stuff everywhere. And a lot of the team starts to get a little anxious, like, are we going to get this done by the end of the day? Sure enough, by 4:35, it looks amazing. We're training the team and they're ready to open up the next day. So the ultimate reset is a way for the practice to get it done in one day, make sure it's done correctly, make sure everybody is on board with the team, and that they all understand the workflow and the processes. Mm-hmm. And that, of course, is a fee for service.
Mm-hmm. And then with the plan that you just mentioned, the ultimate reset, then are you consistently checking in with the dental practice to see how they're doing?
Yes, we absolutely. We check in with any of the practices that we work with, whether they do the ultimate reset or the plan 2, or even the plan 1. If I offer suggestions, in that email wrap up, I like to check in a few months later to see how it's going and if it did help them. If they're still struggling, it might be time to move to plan 2 and be able to get the products and have me work with them a little bit more closely.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Now, you had said there was another plan in the works. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so we're very much considering doing kind of a virtual reset. And so to save a little bit of cost, so we're not flying out and having to get hotels and accommodations and so forth. We would still have that as an option, because I really do think that that's extremely beneficial to be right there and work with the team. But we're thinking about doing something virtual where we could do the reset with them, but without having the travel expenses, to make it a little bit more affordable for the practice, and making it so we're not having to be out of the office for quite so much time either. So that's in the works. We don't know exactly how it's going to look yet, but I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be huge.
Great. Sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
So you're based in Buffalo, Minnesota. You'll go and see, clients anywhere in the U.S. or
U.S. and Canada. Okay. We do also have partnered companies in Europe that they can do resets there too. We have an international director of sales here, and then she doesn't fly over to do the reset, but she works with our partners to help those customers get the same services as we have here.
Okay. Well, earlier in the show, we touched on, the staffing shortage. Everyone's very much aware of that.
Yes.
If you could give us a forecast for the 2023 dental marketplace, like what trends do you see affecting the industry, and how is Zirc positioned to help their customers take advantage?
Yeah. And like you said, we did talk about the staff shortage that definitely is going to go into 2023. So I can't encourage teams more how important it is to really get some good efficiency systems in place in the event you are working short-staffed. You've got to be able to easily cross-train or to bring in temps if need be, or when you're getting your new hire, hopefully, making that transition easier by having this color code system in place. Your front office team, your front office manager, in a pinch, if we're running behind, we're short-staffed, they should be able to, they don't need to know all of the materials that we need and what they're used for. All they need to know is, all right, they've got a composite, we're running late, I'm going to go help. I'm going to grab the blue tub and the blue tray and at least get the room set up and ready. Those things are going to be huge. Other things that I would recommend for the short-staffed issue is to use some type of a hands-free evacuation isolation device. There's several on the market. We happen to have Mr. Thirsty for the high volume evacuation. We've got other ones for low volume, but this is going to help that doctor work. If they don't have an assistant, they can prep a tooth by using a device that's going to retract the tongue, protect the cheek and airway. It's going to offer a bite block to keep that patient in an open position, all while providing high volume evacuation. So they can do that hands-free, so they can use their handpiece and their mirror without having to deal with all of the retraction issues. So that's a must. There's plenty on the market. You do your research, see which one is going to work best for you. On another note, trends that I'm seeing is truly minimalistic treatment rooms. You know, gone are the days of really needing, and I don't want to upset any dental cabinet manufacturers, but gone are the days where you're going to need a lot of storage space in the treatment rooms. They're really streamlining that to just have enough to have a working area, your sink, obviously, to wash hands and whatnot, and then a stack of drawers and a cabinet, just enough to store your disinfecting wipes, your gloves, your masks, and your disposable items like cotton rolls, gauze, patient napkins, anesthetic. So not everything is being stored in the treatment room anymore. And they're finding that by doing it this way, they're actually utilizing, better use of the space that they have in their building. They might be able to get an additional treatment room in, or to create that larger sterilization area so we can store all of our trays and tubs and overstock materials to keep everything that we need in centrally located to really perfect that workflow process. So minimalistic treatment rooms, and then of course that hub of the practice being the sterilization center. On a side note, what I'm seeing with new builds and some remodeling, and I haven't seen it in person yet, but listening to my customers talk about it, I'm super excited about it. They're keeping, because as we know, we need to have 4 clearly defined areas in our sterilization areas. The dirty area, the area for packaging and pouching instruments, then you've got the autoclave, and then the clean side. So what I'm seeing now is they're making the sterilization center just the dirty area, and finishing it with the autoclave. Once it comes out of the autoclave, there's a room right next door with either a walk-through or a slide-through window. And you can just put your clean items right through there. And now we've got a whole nother area right next to it where we keep our tubs and our trays and our cassettes, our overstock materials, and that type of thing. So those are a couple of key things that I'm seeing on the market right now.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you joining us today. Before we wrap up, Christian, do you have anything else that we should cover?
No, I think that Kay had a lot of great things to say. It was very impactful today, and I even learned a few new things today. So thank you very much, Kay. That's great. See, you're a great consultant.
Well, Kay talks a lot.
There's a difference between talking a lot and talking and people listening. So
Oh, well, I hope
you're
so.
dropping
Thank you.
some gold nuggets here today.
You are dropping a lot of gold nuggets.
Yeah.
There are so many things that we can do to help. I mean, I wish I knew, then what I know now when I was in practice. So yeah, it really makes a difference.
Right on. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening today. We're going to wrap it up. If you'd like to connect with Kay and learn more about Zirc, you can find her contact details below this episode in the description. Please like, comment, and share this episode and subscribe to the channel. Thanks again for listening to Dental Business Excellence.
Clinical.
Thanks for listening to the Dental Business Excellence Podcast. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss the next episode. While you are there, leave us a rating and review to help us spread the word about the show.